Chapter 61-68. Elaine curled her lips. Forget about the business class with special price. There is a business class on small planes. What do you mean? There is no difference between first-class and second-class seats on the high-speed rail. When it comes to first-class seats, you have to sit on a big plane on an international route to enjoy it. Jacob nodded and said with a smile, don't worry. When we come back from Dubai this time, I am ready to spend time shopping for antiques. Maybe I can earn several million a year. Then I will buy a first-class flight to take you to the Maldives and to Australia. Elaine said with a smile, that's great. I've always wanted to go to the Maldives. If I wasn't afraid of running into Mai Ching, I wouldn't go to Dubai this time. Speaking of Mai Ching, Elaine suddenly felt depressed again. She stood up, waved her hand, and said, "Don't mention that, Vixen, husband, if you work hard when we come back. Maybe you can also have a second career." Jacob agreed and said with a smile, "Just wait and see." As they spoke, the two of them had already boarded the plane. The first-class cabin of this aircraft adopts a 121 layout. Each seat is a relatively independent box. The two middle seats are next to each other, so the central baffle can be opened to form a larger double box. When Jacob checked in, he chose the two middle seats. As soon as the two of them sat down, the enthusiastic flight attendant from Emirates Airlines came forward and respectfully provided drinks, towels, steam eye masks, and disposable slippers for the two of them. It was Jacob's first time flying first class on an international flight, and the flight attendant provided her with meticulous service, which made him feel a little flattered. But Elaine next to him was not surprised. After all, she was one of the lucky ones to have flown to the United States on a private plane. That experience made her graduate in flying. As soon as she took her seat, Elaine couldn't help complaining to the stewardess beside her. "They say Emirates is the best airline in the world. But the seats on your plane are so uncomfortable. Far worse than the Gulfstream G650. The flight attendant squatted and knelt beside her legs, and said very apologetically, "I'm sorry, Ms. Ma, I'm really sorry to make you feel so disappointed. We at Emirates Airlines are in Volkswagen Airlines. It has always been ranked in the top 5 in the world. And our hardware level is one of the best among the public airlines in the world. However, the Gulfstream G650 you mentioned is a private jet. There is no upper limit for the internal modification of private jets. So our kind of public aviation may indeed be incomparable. But you can rest assured that we will definitely provide you with the best in-flight service on this flight." Elaine is actually very satisfied with the environment here. And the reason for mentioning the Gulfstream G650 is just to show off. Seeing that there was nothing wrong with the flight attendant's attitude, Elaine said arrogantly, "Go back and tell your leaders to make suggestions. We should upgrade this first-class cabin to a luxurious first-class cabin. It's not like we can't afford it." The stewardess said quickly, "I will definitely report your suggestion to the company." Elaine nodded with satisfaction, waved her hand, and said, "Okay, go and do your work." The air hostess was granted amnesty and said respectfully, "You can call me anytime if you need it." After the stewardess left, Jacob asked Elaine curiously, "Is the private jet very luxurious?" Elaine rolled her eyes at him. "I posted it on Moments at that time, didn't you see?" Jacob said subconsciously, "I didn't pay attention." Elaine wanted to scold him for not thinking about her at that time. But then she thought about it. Since the two of them had reconciled, she didn't want to deal with this monster and provoke trouble, so she said, "From now on, you must like and comment on every post in my circle of friends. Otherwise I will fight with you." Jacob quickly said, "No problem." Elaine took pictures of various items in the first-class cabin while asking Jacob, "How long until takeoff?" Jacob looked at the time and said, "I guess it will be 20 minutes before they close the cabin door. Wait another half an hour and we will almost fly." Elaine ordered, nodding. She curled her lips and said, "There are too many losers in economy class. They really delay things. I'm going to squint for a while." It's too early to get up today. After saying that, she took off a steam eye mask and put it on, closing her eyes to relax. At this time, the treasures shop time had been passed on by 10 collectors, finally giving it back to Peter. The vendor kept watching the 10 people while they were looking at things, hoping that one of them would find something wrong with the things and attack Peter on the spot. But what he didn't expect was that so many people watched it one after another, and each one looked at it silently. He couldn't figure out whether their quality was too high or whether it was too real. At this time, Peter put the bronze Buddha away and said, "Since you have all seen it and I believe you have a clear idea of the actual value of the thing, I will not waste everyone's time and just get it from starting with the collector friend number 1 has decided to take it or not." Others also looked at number 1 nervously. If he asked for it directly and paid within 5 minutes, then others have no chance. At this time, number 1 was already restless waiting. When he heard what Peter said, he immediately said loudly in an extremely firm tone, "I want it. I want it. Give me an account. 20 million will be transferred immediately."